在收看亚洲保时捷凯雷拉杯2024年赛季第6回合的赛事直播。现在我们再次回到泰国武里南国际赛车场进行我们今天的第2场比赛。现在的赛道是非常的炎热，所以将会给我们的车手们带来非常严峻的考验。让我们看看待会车手们是否能够继续稳定发挥。Hello everyone and welcome back to Chang International Circuit for round 6 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2024. The track now is incredibly hot right now. I think it's much hotter compared to this morning's race. So let's hear from our pit reporter Steve Dawson on what he has predicted for our drivers.
I think you're right, it is hotter than it was even this morning. There's a little bit more cloud, which means there's a good chance we'll get a little bit of shade, some respite for everybody. Alessandro Giretti is in pole position once again. Let's see if Dylan Pereira can challenge him a little bit more strongly than he did this morning. Martin Raginger will throw himself into the mix as well. He's a little bit further up the grid than he was. He starts in P3. Bao Jinlong back in pole position this time for the Pro-Ams. So he gets a chance to challenge the pros, which we know he likes to do if everything is set up nicely for him. Among the amateur drivers, perhaps a little bit of history made today. Mongkong Satyanthirakul won this morning in his home country. If he could do that twice in one day, that'll be something quite special. And don't forget, we meet again in Thailand the next weekend. We all get together in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, so he really does have a chance to stand out from an historical point of view. Should be another great race.
Thank you so much, Steve. I'm sure that today is going to be the real test of endurance for all of our drivers out there. So stay tuned and we will pass it back to our commentators.
Well, thank you to Sammy and to Steve as well. What a beautiful day for racing it is here at the Chang International Circuit. My name's Lewis McGlade and I'll be taking you through round 6 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Obviously, round 5 was exciting and thrilling, but it was dominated by Alessandro Giretti to take a victory by 3.9 seconds over Matthias Jalbert, who retakes 3rd position in the championship. He is flying, is Giretti. But of course, like I say, it's not the only thing as where there's talking points. That excellent victory from Mongkong Satyanthirakul, who was absolutely dominant and will be starting once again from pole in the AM category. We'll take a look though at highlights from the previous race of the champ to see exactly what happened. Highlights from round 5 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. It was Alessandro Giretti starting from pole position and leading down into the first corner. A couple of stallers in the background. There's just a couple of problems getting off the line, but alas, at the front it was an excellent start from Alessandro Giretti. The poor start, unfortunately, from Bao Jinlong as well, from high up in the Pro-Am category, would drop him down into the mix. The battle for second position, though, would see Dylan Pereira being overtaken by Matthias Jalbert down the inside, round the outside, but unfortunately for him, it was Dylan Pereira still holding on to second position. That battle would continue on throughout the race. Couple of struggles for pace for Dylan Yip, who was having a little bit of problems with the likes of Nazim Asman and Martin Raginger behind. A bit of a spin as well from Jackie Wu, who would go for a bit of a spin just into the gravel, or nearly touching that gravel before he'd be able to get back going once more. Big move late on in the race with just a few laps left to go, straight down the inside as Matthias Jalbert would take over second position in the race and retake second in the championship. Meanwhile, the battle for the Pro-Am lead was thrilling. Lee Jun-song being overtaken there by Bao Jinlong, who makes it 5 from 5 when it comes to victories in the Pro-Am category. 4 from 4 though in the last 4 races is Alessandro Giretti once again on top. Matthias Jalbert and Dylan Pereira rounding out the Pro podium, with Bao Jinlong winning in Pro-Am, and then the AM category victory coming from Mongkong Satyanthirakul. An absolutely incredible performance, but dominant from Alessandro Giretti again. Just a thrilling performance once more from Giretti, and we're starting this race from pole position, looking for basically the same kind of pace, copying and pasting what he did in the previous race. But as we said, the track temperature is realistically it's going to be hotter in this one. We'll have to wait and see. But let's head back down and see what's going on with our VIP.
Thank you, commentators. Now joining me on the track once again, we have Porsche Carrera Cup Asia Series Manager Alex Imperatori. Let's welcome Alex.
Hi, Sammy. Thank you.
Yeah, so 2 races in one day. It's pretty intense, isn't it?
Yes, it's very intense for the drivers, of course, because already just one race here in this heat, it takes a lot of toll on the body and on the mind, so it's double the effort. But it's also very tough for the teams. You know, it's a tight turnaround between races, and they have a lot of preparation work to do on the cars. So it's really intensive on everybody.
Yeah, speaking of teams, I know that this is also the first event that has the TTAP program. Can you tell us through about that?
Yes, this weekend we welcome some students from TTAP. It's an initiative in partnership between TTAP and Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific. They're based out of Malaysia, and we are cultivating talent. Not just on track with our racing drivers and our talent pool presented by Michelin, but also off the track, you know, trying to develop the new crop of mechanics and engineers of the future. So they are embedded with our race teams this weekend to give them first-hand knowledge and real know-how, and we are hoping to see them in the future more regularly with our race teams.
Which is a very good ground of practice in this very extreme weather conditions. So we have had one race today. How's the atmosphere around the track?
It's always great here in Thailand. You know, we really feel the passion, and it's growing here in Thailand. We have, of course, great feedback from our friends from Porsche Thailand who are here, also on track, experiencing what the motorsport is all about with the road cars. And we're really looking forward to be coming back again in just under a month's time in Bang Sen.
Yeah, speaking about Bang Sen, you know, Bang Sen Street Circuit is our next stop in Thailand, and it's a popular stop for both drivers and fans. So what can we expect next?
Well, Bang Sen is returning to our calendar this year for the first time since 2019. It's always a fan favorite and driver's favorite. We are expecting a lot of fans on site, maybe north of 300,000 people. So it's always a special atmosphere. It's really one of those motorsport festivals right on the beach, and the atmosphere is really unique. Might even see some monkeys on track, who knows, but this is something that we are looking forward to. But before that, we still have this weekend. We're also cheering for what's happening in Le Mans over the weekend. It's a lot of motorsport action, and we hope to cheer for a victory for Porsche Penske Motorsport on Sunday. Alessandro Giretti, just behind us, will have the chance to go and experience it firsthand as he won the prize, being the championship leader after round 4, and we hope he will have a great time there.
Yeah, we hope that Alessandro have a great time there, and he's really going to race fast so that he can catch the jet to Le Mans. So thank you so much, Alex, for your time, and let's pass it back to our commentators.
Certainly be a long flight for Alessandro Giretti straight after this, but well worth the time to go and see the 24-hour of Le Mans, which is again the main focus this weekend, I'm sure, for a lot of the motorsport world. But for our drivers out now, the focus is purely on here. And the heat, look at how hot it is. 37 degrees Celsius ambient temperature, 0% chance of rain. No one's shocked by that, despite a little bit more cloud coverage. Winds actually come down by 1 meter per second over the previous race. It was 4 meters per second in the previous race. It is just 3 in this one. A little bit extra cloud coverage, as Steve Dawson was talking about, should help bring the track temperature down slightly. It will be very high, 55 degrees Celsius, extremely high, but it will fluctuate a little bit more in this race. In the previous race, it was just going up constantly. In this race, it'll probably settle and fluctuate, but 55 degrees Celsius is extremely hot. The Michelin tyres are going to struggle on this one. We'll head down to the grid, though, and catch up with Martin Ragginger, who's qualified in 3rd place.
Martin Ragginger in P3, looking to trouble the 2 drivers who are right in front of him. Martin, first time we've spoken to you today. How did your race go this morning?
Yeah, everything was okay. I think the first 3, they were quite fast today in race 1. So we tried to do better now in the second one.
1 place further up in the grid than you were this morning. Can you create some trouble from here?
We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's all depending on the pace on the race, obviously. And I try to have a good start and a smooth race, and I push to keep up with those guys.
Drive safely.
Thank you.
Now, of course, Martin Ragginger did finish in fourth position in the race earlier on. Was fifth on the road, but ended up in fourth position courtesy of Nazim Asman, who had a 5-second post-race time penalty for exceeding track limits, which, again, is expected to be a major talking point in this race. We saw a lot of drivers abusing track limits. It's so easy to do around here. The likes of turn 1, of turn 5 out the back end of the circuit, the final turn, you can really get away with it, including Alessandro Gueretti. He had a bit of a lock-up coming down to the final corner and went straight on at one point. We were wondering if he was going to have any tyre problems from that point. Alas, it was absolutely fine to keep going. It was pretty tight, but still managed to work their way round. We'll head down, though, once more to see exactly what's going on.
Pro-Am driver Eric Tang is in P11 for this race this afternoon. Eric, did you have a good race, a good rest, I should say, after this morning's drive?
Unfortunately, no, because I got stuck at the steward's office for like an hour and a half.
Oh dear, what a shame. How do you feel about the prospect of this afternoon's race? And good tussle this morning.
Exciting. Yeah, it's getting much hotter, and I'm in a good position. I have a pro car next to me, so it's going to be a tough fight.
Hopefully not too much time with the officials after this race.
Yes. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Eric Zhang there, of course, after a pretty impressive performance. Third place in Pro-Am in the previous one, but alas, quite a way back from Bao Jinlong and obviously the race win in the Pro-Am category. So we'll have to do a little bit of digging deep to go and catch that one down for this race. But yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. The AM category, of course, was won by Munkung Satyantiragal by 10 seconds. We'll head down, though, to Eric Kwong, who finished second in the category. He's the championship leader in AM.
In P14, the main challenger to the amateur pole is Eric Kwong. Eric, you're 5 places behind Satyantiragal. How much chance have you got of catching up the Thai driver?
Good question. I don't know. Just try to follow them first. Yeah.
A lot of cars in front of you, a lot of cars behind. What's the strategy early on? Stay out of trouble or go for break?
Of course, avoid a crash first and then catch them one by one.
We hope you stay out of trouble. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
And as was alluded to there, a lot of work to do to go and get that AM victory, because Munkung Satyantiragal has qualified in 9th place, which is absolutely excellent. Not only is he on the AM pole position, he is ahead of every Pro-Am driver as well, starting on the 5th row of the grid alongside Bao Jinlong. So very, very impressive qualifying there for Munkung Satyantiragal, who is clearly going really strongly and vibing very well with the Chang International Circuit. Of course, home soil for him, took that first victory, and the expectation is there might be another one on the cards. Here's a look at the championship points after 5 races in the season. Alessandro Gueretti on 124 points. Matthias Jalbert retaking over second position with Dylan Pereira in 3rd. Martin Ragginger in 4th position with Rodrigo Diaz Almeida in 5th position in the championship. A big gap between 3rd and 4th, but still definitely a 3-way title fight at the very least between the top 3. Over into the Pro-Am category, Bao Jinlong got his victory, so it is 5 victories from 5. Eric Zhang, who we're catching up with there on the grid with Zhang Yatzi, of course, in 3rd position. Li Chao and Li Juan Yu, obviously inside the top 5. That is a pretty healthy championship lead for our Pro-Am. In the AM category, though, is Eric Kwong, who was denied victory for the first time this season by Munkung Satyantiragal, who might be taking over the position from Henry Kwong. Into 2nd position is Eric Kwong, then Henry Kwong, then Munkung Satyantiragal. Chao Kui Chun, of course, there with John Shen a bit further down. John Shen had a really, I don't want to be too mean about it, had a really poor race in the last one. Had a lot of problems, finished further down the order, really struggled with the conditions, having a bit of a spin as well. I'm pretty sure that'll be behind, as much as John Shen starting from the rear of the field, not just of the AM category, but of the entire 27-car field. I'm pretty sure we'll see a very different driver from the Medina Motorsports man. Of course, it'll be Alessandro Gueretti at the front of the field taking control around this 4.5 kilometre circuit. Of course, around the 12 turns, you can see we'll talk about the critical areas, the overtaking spots, turn 3 rather, where we saw plenty of overtakes, including the battle for second position in the pro category, where Matthias Jalbert made the move. Lots of overtakes into 5 and 6 as well. Track limits, the talk at turn 1, saw a lot of people exceeding through there on the exit of turn 5, on the exit of turn 8. Turn 10 wasn't too big of a problem. It's normally the inside of turn 10, wasn't too big of a problem, but still can cause the odd bit. And turn 12, where we saw even Alessandro Gueretti going out wide there. Focus on the exit speed comes out of turn 1 because of the enormous straight down towards turn 3, and same with 3 down towards 4, because it can be pretty quick through turn 4. They're carrying the speed all the way down to it. We'll take a look at the starting grid though for round 6 here of the championship in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Alessandro Gueretti starting this one from pole position with Dylan Pereira on the front row, as it was in the previous race. We're hoping that Dylan Pereira finds a little bit more speed than he had in the previous one. Martin Ragginger qualifying 1 position better than he did in the previous race, up to 3rd position, with Matthias Jalbert starting from 4th in the number 99 car. Managed to finish in 2nd in the previous race. Can he do so again? Rodrigo Diaz Almeida from 5th position, with Ling Kang starting from 6th. 7th place is, of course, Dylan Yip, who qualified in 5th position last time and was really struggling for pace, actually, in the previous race. Nazim Azman picked up a 5-second post-race time penalty in the previous one for excursions off the circuit. Before we get to our AM pole sitter, is Munkun Satyendirical, starting from 9th position after a fantastic performance and a victory in the previous one, starting ahead of the Pro-Am pole sitter in Bao Jinlong. Of course, Eric Zhang will start from 11th position. Then we get to Zach Stitzbury, who had a couple of struggles in the previous race, but still was able to keep it on the island, on the road, and eyes forward. Of course, then we have Lee Judsong, who was battling for the victory in Pro-Am with Eric Kwong, the person who's qualified 2nd in AM. Of course, the champs leader in the AM category. Then it's So Tzi Kwan starting from 15th position. Li Juan Yu starting from 16th. The 888 car of Zhang Yatzi starting from 17th position. There's still 10 more cars though to go in this 27 car grid in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. It's fantastic to see Li Chao in 18th position. Henry Kwong, pretty poor qualifying all things considered, knowing how Henry Kwong can be, and the podiums that he's got down in 19th position. Yao Liang Bo starting from 20th position. Hendrik Yersawati, who had a couple of problems right at the start of the previous race, dropped back right the way to the rear of the field in the number 88, will start from 21st, with Lu Zhouwei starting from 22nd position. Jackie Wu, who also went for a spin himself in the previous race, starts from 23rd position, with Christian Cha starting from 24th. The first driver to have been pinged for track limit excursions was Christian Cha. Oh, that's a great accolade. Adrian De Silva starts from 25th position, with Zhu Zhefeng starting from 26th, and John Shen starting from the rear of the field. Of course, in the top 5 in the AM category, would very much like to keep that in his own hands going into the next round of the championship. Of course, there's still plenty of races left to go in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, and plenty of struggles for the drivers to deal with in what is a very hot afternoon. 2 races in one day as well. I'm sure that's pretty exhausting for all the drivers. They've found their way into position, and once they have done or all done so, the lights will come on and we will begin racing. Green flag at the back of the field. 17 laps of racing. Alessandro Gueretti once again in control. Dylan Pereira on the front row of the grid alongside him. Will Pereira be able to challenge going into the first corner? We are underway at the Chang International Circuit as Alessandro Gueretti will lead his way down into the first corner. Decent start though from the number 18 of Rodrigo Diaz Almeida, who was trying to get to the outside, but an excellent one still from Gueretti from pole position. Side by side as they work their way through the first corner. That was Li Zhichong going a little bit out wide. Of course, the driver who's 3rd in Pro-Am at the moment, as there comes a look to the inside. Dylan Pereira trying to slot the gap to try and get to the inside of Alessandro Gueretti. Has to go to the outside coming to turn 3. Gueretti managing to hold on, but Dylan Pereira, you're seeing how desperate he is to go and take over the race lead immediately. Cannot find a way past though, as he works their way up the hill and then back down towards turn 5. Alessandro Gueretti continues to lead, but once again Dylan Pereira's got to the outside, and what a brilliant move that is from Dylan Pereira, who's taken over the race lead now as Alessandro Gueretti has to settle for 2nd. The battle for 3rd position as well as they work their way through. It's Martin Ragginger getting hung out to dry just a little bit, not able to take over third position immediately as he's trying to work his way past, and he himself is being attacked as they work their way through the S's section. Number 33 of Ling Kang, who's now knocking at the door. Dylan Yip in that yellow car, the number 6, trying to work their way back onto the scene as now the defensive line coming in from Ling Kang. What a crazy start that was. It's still Martin Ragginger rather in third position with Mathieu Jalbert in fourth. I've got those two the other way round. But what a start it is from Dylan Pereira, who will complete the first lap of 17 here at the Chang International Circuit as the race leader. Unbelievable performance. Alessandro Gueretti then in second position with Martin Ragginger, Mathieu Jalbert, Ling Kang, Dylan Yip, Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida. I did think he'd dropped back a few positions and certainly has done. As you can see the fanning out in the background, all of the drivers trying to figure their way through into the corner. You can see the defensive line coming in from the bright colours of Eric Kwong, trying to keep Li Chao at bay. Out wide. Oh, there has been a terrible start from Bao Jinlong. He struggled in the previous races. Here comes Alessandro Gueretti once again. Straight to the inside for the race lead. There's contact between the top two, not just in the race, but in the championship as well. Let's see if Dylan Pereira can try and work his way straight back through. Unfortunately, he cannot. But wow, that was an aggressive move from Alessandro Gueretti, forcing his way down the inside into turn 3, forcing that door open and saying, no, I'm coming for it. We'll take a look at the race start, though, on replay, and you can see the excellent start from Alessandro Gueretti. And you can see there, once again, as it was in the previous race, Bao Jinlong, dark blue car, right there on the right-hand side of the shot, struggling once more to get off the line. He said he had struggles in the previous race, basically stalled the car. He was talking about how he's got all three pedals, with obviously, you know, only got 2 feet to kind of balance on the pair of them. A couple of struggles in there, but that's why he's dropped back this 17th overall, 15th in category. Just a note from race control: contact between car 55 and 5 noted by race control. That is, of course, Alessandro Gueretti and Dylan Pereira. So race control have taken a look at it. They've noted it down. Whether they'll be investigating it, though, is certainly up for grabs. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But I'm sure race control won't particularly like what they're seeing between those two. It is Alessandro Gueretti leading from Dylan Pereira. Martin Ragginger in third position with Mathieu Jalbert and Ling Kang in the top 5. Fastest lap coming in from Alessandro Gueretti after taking over the race lead. Race leads in each of the other categories. Munkum Satyantiraku and Eric Zong, of course, on the race lead at the moment in the Pro-Am category. As that is Bao Jinlong trying to work his way past Zhang Yatzi at the moment for 15th position. So Bao Jinlong already trying to work his way up the order, getting past Eric Kwong on the second lap of this race. The top 5 not being separated by too much. You can't be pushing too hard in the early stages here. We saw it was 55 degrees track temperature, and the expectation is from that they're going to be burning through this Michelin rubber and overcooking it if they're not careful. Through turn 4 they go, through the left-hander, then onto the brakes heavily for turn 5, where we saw a couple of moments in the previous race, including a bit of a spin from Jackie Wu. Of course, he went off just a touch, having a little bit of a look at the inside, see if any of the pro categories do any of that. They're keeping well within the track limits as they work their way through. Dylan Yip, that bright yellow car, trying to keep on the rear end of the top 5, having a big slide there, coming through 7, just the rear end almost letting go. You can't do that too many times in this race. There's a few of the other drivers going out wide. That'll be Bao Jinlong just going out a little wide. Of course, we focus on the number 7 now of Bao Jinlong, keeping Eric Kwong at bay, or rather, sorry, that is Zhang Yatzi he's keeping at bay, because of course Eric Kwong's got a much brighter car than Zhang Yatzi. But Bao Jinlong making up another position, then up to 15th. Now, he did have a poor start in the previous race, did Bao Jinlong, and was still able to work his way up into the race lead of the Pro-Am category. So expectations are still his race pace is going to be phenomenal. We'll have to wait and see. It could be a little too tall of an order for him to try and work his way up to 10th position at the moment, which is where we find our race leader. Here we go. A little bit of a look to the inside. The number 91 of Henry Kwong trying to make a move on Chao Kui Chan at the moment, and at the moment can't quite work his way past. So Henry Kwong going to have to settle for 19th position at the moment. Will that last, though? Was once again Bao Jinlong making a move to the inside, picking off the drivers, to be fair, bit by bit, and doing an absolutely excellent performance at the moment is Bao Jinlong. That was Li Chao. He just worked his way past. Obviously clicked off Zhang Yatzi in the previous lap. Now gets another one and is working his way up the order very, very quickly. quickly indeed. There's Eric Zong, who's the race leader at the moment in the category. Oh my goodness, that is a big move from the Triple Eight of Zhang Yatzi, straight down the inside going into turn 5. Brilliant move, huge commitment, so brave to have tried to pull that one off, but absolutely excellent all the same. Again, a brilliant attempt. You can see Eric Kwong there just sat off the rear end of all of this, currently running as second in the AM category, but a long way behind our race leader in the AM category, Milko Satin-Tirikul. Back up to the race leaders though, and you can see Alessandro Gueretti, Dylan Pereira, Martin Wagner are all working their way through first, second and third in the pro category. Let me correct myself, because it's Matthias Jalbert who's working his way up now into third position, of course, in the number 99 car. Martin Wagner dropped off the podium, didn't get a podium in the previous race, did finish in 4th spot. So at the moment, we're almost as we were in the first race, because obviously there was a switch for second position in the first race. Dylan Pereira dropped behind Matthias Jalbert, and maybe it will happen again. The end race pace from Dylan Pereira wasn't ideal, but he's such a good driver. He's going to have learnt a lot from that race. Got a note from race controllers. I'll talk over this move first, as we'll see. Oh, that's a big move. That is for the race lead in Pro-Am. As we'll see the move coming in from the number 21 there of Lee Judsong, working his way through into the race lead. Got denied the race victory in the previous one, does not want to be denied race victory this time by the move coming into the outside. Zach Stitchbury, of course, the pro driver, trying to work his way past Eric Zhang here as well, as he'll get to the inside, and Zach Stitchbury will work his way past, and Li Juan Yu now out wide, opening the door for Bao Jinlong to work his way past now into third in category is Bao Jinlong. That's how quickly he's working his way back up the order, and I get the feeling that might forced Lee Judsong to maybe go through, to think, look, actually, do you know what, I can probably see in my mirrors that once again Bao Jinlong, despite that poor start, is knocking at the door to try and work his way back up to the race victory, and just shows the incredible pace that Bao Jinlong has to work his way back into the mix. Now he's looking to try and pass the number 77 of Eric Zhang. At the moment, they work their way into the final corner. The up and under probably going to work. Not quite a good enough drive maybe from Bao Jinlong as they work back out onto the start-finish straight. Bao Jinlong, of course, third now in the Pro-Am category, looking to be second. And if he can pass Zach Stitchbury, maybe he'll be knocking at the door of Lee Zhang and maybe trying to take the race victory in Pro-Am. Overall, though, getting very close indeed. Dylan Pereira, I mean, if this is the case, then he has sorted out his problems from the previous race, because he's already knocking at the door of Alessandro Gueretti once again. He's just set the fastest lap of the race on the previous one at 37.792, about 2 to 3 tenths faster than Alessandro Gueretti, your race leader. It's 4 consecutive victories for the 55. The 5, though, has taken victory in the first race of the season, and again, the Mobil 1 Super Cup champion of 2022, of course, one of the flagship Porsche series, where all these drivers are basically working their way towards again and again and again to try and take part in the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, being a support series for Formula 1, etc. Really is the gateway into all the major parts of endurance racing, of sports car racing. You go to the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, and that's where you're trying to end up. And of course, with such a big weekend for sports car racing and the likes, obviously with the Le Mans 24-hour, yeah, I'm sure a lot of these drivers are dreaming about the potential future. Dylan Yip under pressure from Rodrigo Diaz Almeida and Nazim Azman. I was going to say, by the way, a 10-second post-race time penalty for Zhang Yatzi, the 888 car. That was for a false start, so he's jumped the race start. As Zhang Yatzi currently runs 15th position overall. So he will be dropping right the way down the order, unfortunately. Will Zhang Yatzi now up to 14th position, courtesy of the lap being complete. Eric Kwong in the background having to deal with the pressure at the moment being dealt by So Chi Kwan, trying to find their way past for what will be, is that second in class? I think it is. So Chi Kwan trying to find their way through then. Yes, certainly is. Neither of those two are going for the race lead now, because let's be honest, Milko Satin-Tirikul is way too far clear. These two, though, not being separated by very much in this race. 6 laps complete of the 17-lap race. An excellent performance from Alessandro Gueretti in the first race to a 4-second victory. looking like that might not be the case for this one. Alessandro Gueretti really is feeling the pressure from Dylan Pereira, but he's soaking it up so brilliantly. See where Pereira can find that move. I'm sure Dylan Pereira still won't be particularly pleased about the style of move that Alessandro Gueretti put on him. And I do get the feeling then that, you know what racing drivers are like. If they don't like the move that's been put on them, then maybe they'll dish it out themselves. Dylan Yips dropped back a couple of positions behind Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida and Nazim Asman, so dropping a couple of positions down the order. As out wide goes our race leader Alessandro Gueretti. Here we go then. Dylan Pereira going for the race leader, the pink car, over to the right-hand side of shot, left-hand side of the circuit. Going to try the up and under a little bit at T1. Focusing on that exit. It is one of the focus points of this circuit. The exit of turn 1, the exit of turn 3. See if Dylan Pereira has nailed that one as they work their way down towards turn 3, through the kink at 2. Alessandro Gueretti taking the defensive line. Dylan Pereira going to the outside. There's a bit of a lock-up a couple of laps ago from Alessandro Gueretti on the inside line. Dylan Pereira going straight around the outside. Can he hold it? It should give him an excellent run off the corner, getting squeezed out wide just a little bit. Oh my goodness, they're so close between the pair of them, but Dylan Pereira certainly has the overlap. They're working their way down now towards turn 4, and this extremely fast left-hander. Dylan Pereira with the inside line. Alessandro Gueretti with the outside line. It's how Dylan Pereira took over the race lead earlier on in the race, was with the outside line at turn 4. This time, though, it works in favour of the Team Shanghai Yonda BWT car, and that would be Dylan Pereira then up to the race lead here in round 6 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. What a fantastic move, as Alessandro Gueretti certainly not done yet. Straight to the outside he's going to go. I wonder if Dylan Pereira let that one back through. That didn't seem as though the kind of corner you could get to the outside. I think maybe he feels that he pushed Alessandro Gueretti out wide at T4 and thought, look, I'm going to get a penalty if this isn't readdressed, as there is the 888 of Zhang Yatzi, who had a post-race time penalty anyway. The driver finishing towards the rear of the Pro-Am category is off the road, down at one of the Marshall, the escape roads. It's still going to cause a safety car though, so unfortunately safety car intervention for the first time here in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia this weekend, rather, at the Chang International Circuit. And so with all that set, it will be Alessandro Gueretti, your race leader. How frustrating will this be for Dylan Pereira? You know, with safety car coming out, thinking about how he was feeling pace-wise, how the strength was coming into his own hands. So make things a little trickier on tyres. We'll see a replay as to what happened to Zhang Yatzi. Looking for a move to the inside, and then will it be a solo spin? It will be a solo spin, unfortunately. Was trying to get to the inside of Eric Zhang, and unfortunately just misjudged it a little bit. Went for a spin. Quite fortuitous with where the escape road was, but unfortunately didn't have the lock to drive down at themselves, meaning that the marshals do have to bring a vehicle near the racetrack. At that point, it is safest and easiest to neutralise the race circuit until they can get that car out of the way. Realistically, it shouldn't take too long for them to remove that car from the race circuit, or from the escape road at least, because again they do need to be able to access those escape roads as quickly as possible. So if there's a car in the way, well, it's no good, is it? So the safety car has been called upon. It wasn't required at all in round 5 of the championship, just a little bit earlier on in the day, but is required here. Alessandro Gueretti, Dylan Pereira and Matthias Jalbert, the top 3 in the pro category. The AM sees Munkong Satin-Tirikul, who was victorious earlier on in the day. Obviously he's the race leader in the AM category, so that's again very, very solid and miles clear of the rest of the field. It's Sol Si Quan who is running in second position in the category, Eric Kwong in third of the AM category, and I went to AM first rather than Pro-Am purely because Munkong Satin-Tirikul was ahead of all the Pro-Am drivers as well. Li Jinsong, of course, the race leader in the Pro-Am category, Bao Jinlong and Li Juanyu, the top 3 in the Pro-Ams as well. Bao Jinlong looking to maybe take a 6th consecutive victory in the Pro-Am category, but I do think that Li Jinsong might be a little bit tougher to beat this race. That said, considering the poor start for Bao Jinlong, where he dropped right the way down the order, the fact that he's still been able to work his way back up into second position in the category, not that far behind Li Jinsong, only one car separating them, and that is Zach Stitchbury. So maybe, well, I'm expecting a battle for the race lead, that is for sure. In the Pro-Am category, we had an excellent fight in the previous race, and again the expectations that we'll probably get an excellent fight in this one as well. It's going to be very tricky for Lee Jun-song on a first weekend, by the way, in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, to hang on to that position. Of course, that is the driver who's currently running in 10th position in the 21 car. There is the 888 of Zhang Yatzi out of the way, which means, realistically speaking, the safety car lights should come out this time. By that said, you don't want to rush the marshals. They're doing it's a tough task out there at the best of times. I've always said about we need to support the Orange Army, the marshals that we need to go racing. If you don't have marshals, you don't have a race. Simple as that. But with the work they've been putting in, for one, it's a tricky task at the best of times anyway. But when it is as hot as this, we're pushing the higher 30s, lower 40s ambient temperature, and again the track temperature, the ground, all the way around the circuit, it's 55 degrees Celsius, so it's extremely hot, enough to melt your boots. Safety car will be coming in this lap. There'll be 7 laps left to go. We might lose one of those because again it is 17 laps of racing or 30 minutes, whichever comes first. Realistically, by my calculations, and don't quote me on this, I always say never trust a commentator's maths, we are 16 minutes into this race. I don't know exactly what time it started, but it should be about should have been 35 minutes past 2 local time, so we're about 16 minutes into the race. 40 minutes left to go. We've already passed halfway in the race, which means that on paper we'll be going the 17 lap distance in this race. One more requirement of the safety car though, and that will not be the case. Alessandro Gueretti then, your race leader. Dylan Pereira and Matthias Jalbert, the top 3. And already I think Alessandro Gueretti has started to pull away from the field. He'll feel the pressure from Dylan Pereira, who's already given a couple of bites to try and make his way through in the number 5 car. Is there going to be the opportunity? Pereira will know that he has to attack immediately. Alessandro Gueretti has the pace to check out under the distance, but in these tricky conditions here at the Chang International Raceway, we are going to see what's going to happen. Alessandro Gueretti, your race leader, with 7 laps left to go. Can he hang on for a 5th consecutive victory here at Chang International Circuit? Of course, here in Buriram, Zach Stichbury here in 11th position, under pressure from Bao Jin Long, trying to work his way past up into the top 10. But here comes the move from Dylan Pereira. To the outside, Pereira's going to go. Alessandro Gueretti with the inside line, trying to hang on to the race lead overall. Dylan Pereira going around the outside. Is he going to get squeezed out wide as he did a lap ago? Yes, or a couple of laps ago rather. Yes, he is. Just a touch, drops in behind Alessandro Gueretti. As I can't take my eyes off this race lead battle. It's absolutely fantastic. I think we might have Matthias Jalbert running his way into the mix in that red car in the background. He finished 2nd in the race earlier on in the day. Did Jalbert 2nd in the championship. Dylan Pereira 3rd in the championship. Trying to find any way past Alessandro Gueretti for his 2nd victory of 2024, but cannot find that way past. Alessandro Gueretti is just so fantastically quick at the moment in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. But not only that, he's got the mentality to hang on. It's Gueretti from Pereira, from Jalbert, from Raginger and Ling Kang, the top 5 at the moment. Of course, Munkung Satyanthirakul is doing a great job to keep himself out of trouble on the race start. That's the slightly bluer and white car that's just gone through the shot there behind the bright yellow of Dylan Yip. Miles clear of any of the other AM drivers at the moment. Looking for 2 from 2 here on home soil is Munkong Satyanthirakul. Li Zichong, of course, still ahead of Zach Stichbury with Bao Jin Long behind. That's the 10th, 11th, 12th battle. But of course, the reason why I note that one is because 10th and 12th in the race, the 21 and the 7 on your timing tower, are battling for the Pro-Am lead. There is Munkong Satyanthirakul. Again, just the hometown hero. Was saying about the pressures of being a Thai driver and the expectations from the fans, from the support, from all the fans around Thailand, that they expect a Thai driver to win a race this season. They always do. And so he's the one taking on that burden and is dealing with it and soaking up the pressure so well. This is the battle for 10th position. Lee Jun-song in that bright yellow car, able to keep at the moment Zach Stichbury behind. But I do get the feeling that white and black car, the lowest car in the pro category, but kind of not really in the Pro-Am battle. He's just kind of like there at the moment, wants to get through. I get the feeling Zach Stitchbury will be trying to work his way past Li Zichong fairly soon, which Bao Jinlong will like very much, because then he can go for the race lead. Out wide in the background there, goodness me, I think that was Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida running out a little bit wide, a bit naughty, going through turn 8, or turn 7, turn 8, through that sector there. So easily done it is, as they work their way through now the left-hander at turn 10, through the right-hand kink at 11, down towards 12, the final corner, with just 5 laps left to go. Alessandro Gueretti, still the race leader at the moment, doing everything he needs to do to take a 5th consecutive victory. But the problem is, as the race has gone on, he's had a couple of problems. There is Zach Stitchbury then going for the inside, and that is him making the move on Li Jinsong. That was a great move, so aggressive into the final corner, but Li Jinsong might be coming straight back through and might be dragging Bao Jinlong with him as well. Out wide, yes, he is going to go. Li Jinsong not able to keep it within the track limits as he makes his way back past Zach Stitchbury, but I get a feeling there might be a switch for the race lead in Pro-Am here. Bao Jinlong going to the outside in the dark blue car, switches it back to the inside, going into turn 3. He's going to commit to the move, looks to the inside, sends it down the inside of the 21, and Zach Stitchbury straight back into the mix and spins the championship leader in Pro-Am. The number 7 goes round. Bao Jinlong sent by Zach Stitchbury. Oh, that's such a shame for the championship leader. There could be a lot of damage on the rear right of that car, but then again, these cars are very strong indeed. But that is very frustrating indeed. Li Jinsong then back to the race leader Pro-Am. He lost it for just a brief moment before getting the assist from Zach Stitchbury, as there's a couple of moves behind this. Wow, this has sent this race into overdrive. Li Chao trying to make a move here as he's trying to work his way up the order. I'll update you with the order though, because it's definitely going to have chopped and changed courtesy of the spin there from Bao Jinlong. Zach Stitchbury working his way through. You've got the 23 of Eric Kwong, I think that was, trying to work their way into all of this. A car going very slow on the right hand side of shot as well. I'll update you as to who that was. But wow, it's really all turned up to 11, all because of that moment from Zach Stitchbury, and the moment from Zach Stitchbury. Really, it started with his move into the final corner on Li Zichong. I think that car, by the way, going slow was Martin Ragginger. Unfortunately, in the 86 car. I did think it was a black and red car, but Martin Ragginger, who finished 4th in the previous race, who qualified in 3rd for this one, is dropping right the way down the order. I think with, maybe to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised, it was overheating problems in his Porsche. So a couple of struggles there as the battle for 4th position. Lin Kang and Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida going for the up and under in the 18, trying to get past Lin Kang once again. Nazim Azman in the red and white car directly behind that. We'll see the side-by-side for 4th position, with Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida getting to the outside, coming down into turn 4. The number 18 car left-hand side of shot does not fancy going for the move there on Lin Kang. Settles behind the pink machine. That I think, by the way, is one of the best liveries on this grid. Love that pink, it looks so good. But Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida struggling with the pressures from behind. Into the pit lane there, that's Zhang Yatzi, I believe, who of course retired from the race earlier on, explaining what's been going on. With the car, obviously had that spin around this part of the racetrack, hit the wall just there on the right hand side. In fact, we can see the marks. Bit of a lock up there from Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida, the front right, just locking up slightly. Saw that a few times in the previous race. Not seen that too much in this race, despite the temperature being increased. Lin Kang just got a 4th and final warning for track limit excursions from race control. So none more from him. Or will be booked a 5-second post-race time penalty. We've got 3 laps left to go here in round 6 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. It is Alessandro Gueretti continuing to lead by 0.8 of a second. Fastest first sector on the previous lap came from Rodrigo Diaz-Almeida. As there was a spin in the background. Oh, that's such a shame. That is Eric Zhang, who has done his fair share of running in high positions in the Pro-Am category. Alas, not going his way now. Dropping down the order in the 77. Had a couple of struggles with track limits after all the dramas with Zach Stitchbury, and there has a bit of another one. Let's see what happened on replay. So you can see one of the cars locking up ahead of him. He goes for a spin. Just so easy to do. I think I'm not sure who it was ahead of him who had the enormous lockup, but it's so easy to do when you see that smoke ahead of you. You kind of overcommit. Oh my goodness, that is a look from Matthias Jalbert trying to get past Dylan Pereira. I think Pereira's tyres might have started to go. Has been pushing them hard, has Pereira. In his attempt to try and take over the race lead from Alessandro Gueretti, and Matthias Jalbert, well, he's not going to think, oh, well, I mean, I'd like him to go for the race lead or whatever. He wants second position. He wants the race win, does Matthias Jalbert, yet to take a victory in 2024 in the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia or Porsche Carrera Cup France, because all 4 of them have been taken by Alessandro Gueretti. Into the pit lane, Martin Ragginger there, and again I'm sure the disappointment for him as that retirement from the race. Not 100% sure as to what happened to the 86 car. Did catch up to him pre-races. Out wide in the background, that is Rodrigo Diaz Almeida, and that will certainly cost him a position. Dropped down behind the Azman as well, so a big shame for Rodrigo Diaz Almeida. Probably a bit of a lock-up on the front right, my guess is. That's exactly what's happened. So easily done. The problem is as you always hear in the likes of Formula 1 and such, when you lock up once, it's so easy to lock up again and again and again, because it will flatten that part of the tyre, making it very easy for the tyre basically to find it when you're getting onto the brakes once more. 2 laps left to go here, and the gap now grows to 1.4 seconds for the race lead. It's a far cry from the 4 seconds that Alessandro Gueretti ran the previous race by. Doesn't mean that it's over for Dylan Pereira. He'll be digging deep as Eric Kwong here going for a move, trying to find their way past at the moment. Lee Chow, the car he's trying to fight to try and make a move on, the number 9 car. Of course, you cannot miss Eric Kwong's car. He's now 3rd in the amateur category, because you can see the 117 come through the foreground of shot that is now running in 2nd position, belonging to Chelsea Kwan. Of course, the driver doing absolutely fantastically, but they're all miles and miles and miles behind Munkong Satyen Tirikul. He's now running in 8th position. Incredible stuff from the AM driver, of course, assisted by some of the dramas that have happened with the pro drivers of the likes of Zach Sitzbury and the likes of Martin Ragnier, just allowing Satyen Tirikul to move up the order ever so slightly. Big lock-up there ahead. That'll be Lee Chow having a bit of a lock-up. I think there was also one from Chelsea Kwan as well, just having a bit of a struggle with the front right. Might have another one into the final corner. If you've locked up a couple of corners ago, it's very easy to do it again in the next corner, where you're kind of like taking the weight off the front right again, which of course is the final corner. On to the final lap of the race then, and Eric Kwong still trying to work his way past in the 23 car. The assistants from behind, Henry Kwong, I say assistants, they are battling for the championship, separated by just 1 position in the championship. Henry Kwong in 2nd spot, Eric Kwong, of course, your championship leader. The gap for the race lead overall is coming down. 5-second time penalty for the 33. Said that Ling Kang might have picked one up for track limit excursions, and that is exactly what's happened. So Ling Kang will drop down the order. He's already dropped down 1 position on Nazim Azman, so now into 5th position. Will be given a 5-second post-race time penalty that will drop into 8th position overall. Well, he's weathered the storm though, as Alessandro Gueretti. Dylan Pereira was giving it everything. I think there might be some post-race conversation between Pereira and Gueretti after a contact between the pair of them just before the safety car. It was an excellent battle earlier on in the race. Dylan Pereira not having the pace late on though to challenge Alessandro Gueretti. He will come down into the final complex of corners into turn 12, out through the final turn to take a 5th consecutive victory in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Dylan Pereira winning the first race, and there's all been the French flag of Alessandro Gueretti taking victory once again this season. Once in Shanghai, both in Suzuka, and both here at the Chang International Circuit. Excellent performance with Dylan Pereira behind by 1.3 seconds. Matthias Jalbert in 3rd. As we'll see, Nazim Azman, Ling Kang, Rodrigo Diaz Almeida, Daniel Yip coming across the line. Munkong Satyen Tirikul you'll see come through shot, who will take victory once again in the AM category. Lee Jud-song taking victory in Pro-Am as well. Fantastic to see for Lee Jud-song, as there is Bao-Jin, Bao Jinlong almost making contact with the rear end of Li Chao there on the start-finish straight. Will not get a podium, so it's been 5 consecutive victories. There's a bit of a squeeze in as well on the start-finish straight behind all of that between Adrian De Silva and Yao Liang Bo. Sorry, that was between John Shen and Adrian Silva, rather. Almost a bit of contact between the pair of them. They separate themselves by 17 thousandths of a second across the line for 23rd position. John Shen obviously starting from the rear of the field, working up a couple of spots, but will most likely be losing the top 5 in the AM Championship at the moment after a struggle here at Buriram. But we'll see them work their way round. I'm very curious to see what the vibe is going to be like between Alessandro Gueretti and Dylan Pereira. Again, a bit of an update that Rodrigo Diaz Almeida has been given that 5-second time penalty. Let me correct myself immediately. Ling Kang given the 5-second post-race time penalty. They'll drop him behind Rodrigo Diaz Almeida and, of course, Dylan Yip. I did see someone who's got a 10-second time penalty. I'm not 100% sure as to who that was. It's the 84 has been given a 10-second post-race time penalty. That is, of course, Zach Stitchbury, and that is not a shock to anyone. Of course, after his contact with Bao Jinlong, so he's given a 10-second post-race time penalty, which will drop Zach Stitchbury right the way down the order. He wasn't a challenge for the podium anyway, because they'll work their way back out onto the start-finish straight and into their spot before we'll catch up with them on the podium and see how the vibes are, how they're all feeling. I don't know if Dylan Pereira will feel disappointed with that race, considering I think it shows a lot of positive, the fact that there was a lot of struggles from Dylan Pereira in the previous race, finishing around 6 or 7 seconds behind Alessandro Gueretti in the race a little bit earlier on in the day. But in this one, really finding his feet and going on the attack and really challenging the likes of Alessandro Gueretti for the race victory. And to be fair, you could say maybe it was only denied because of the contact. There was a little bit of a brush between the 55 and the 5. It was noted by race control, but they didn't step in. I don't know if they felt any need to step in, but maybe there'll be a little bit of a post-race investigation. Anyway, depends on the vibes between them. Team Jebsen there, of course, victorious once again with Alessandro Gueretti, who starts to dominate the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. We'll look at the provisional results, of course, for round 6 of the championship. Alessandro Gueretti, Dylan Pereira, Matthias Jalbert, Nazim Asman and Ling Kang, the top 5. But of course, do remember that Ling Kang will drop back to 7th position, with Rodrigo Diaz Almeida will be moving up to 5th position, with Dylan Yip moving up to 6th. Munkong Satien Tirikul on to the top step of the podium for the 2nd time this week, with Lee Jud-song, of course, in 9th, Zach Stitchbury, Li Juan Yu, of course, Chao Kui-chan, and then we've got Eric Kwong, Henry Kwong, Li Chao, Bao Jinlong, Liu Zhewei, of course, with Zhu Zhefeng, Hendrik Jaya Sawati, Jackie Wu, thankfully working his way into 20th position in this race. Excellent performance. Eric Zhang, Christian Chi, with John Shen, Adrian De Silva and Yao Liang Bo, our finishers from the race. Martin Raginger, a retirement earlier on, and Zhang Yatzi, a retirement after hitting the barrier quite hard around the back end of the circuit. The pair of those retiring, unfortunately. We'll head down, though, to the winner and see what Alessandro Gueretti is saying post-race.
Alessandro Gueretti triumphant again, but Alessandro, this was a whole different story to the race this morning. This was pretty tough and competitive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really a tough one. I think the heat is even more worse than this morning, and the race was really challenging. I had a lot of fight with Dylan. We've been missing a bit of pace this afternoon. Yeah, Dylan did a great job. It was a great battle together, so I'm really happy for that.
Stressful, I'm sure you had to concentrate very hard, but was it enjoyable to have such a close battle?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's motorsport. We are here for battling, we are here for racing, and that was pure racing, so yeah, of course.
It's been a memorable weekend. You looking forward to Thailand next time?
Of course, I will miss the Thailand round because I have a meeting in Super Cup in Spielberg. But I have a great guy who will jump in my car, and I'm sure he will do a really good job.
We look forward to seeing him. Well done.
Thank you.
obviously getting the call up into the Porsche Mobile One Super Cup. Alessandro Guiretti, fantastic talent. We'll see him obviously all over the world of motorsport, I have no doubt, but racing all over the place in Porsches. He'll be desperate to jump onto a flight and head to Le Mans for the race a little bit later on in the day. Like I said, it was an excellent battle between himself and Dylan Pereira. I liked it. Yeah, I come from a background of watching touring cars and stuff, so I like a little bit of elbows out racing. There's always, you got to give room. You've got to make sure you're giving racing room, which I'd say that there was a little bit of contact as Guiretti locked up, but that was about all it was. We'll head down though to Li Judsong and see what he's saying post-race of the Pro-Am victory.
Li Judsong will also take top step of the podium in his category. In the middle of the field, it was a chaotic race, wasn't it? Did you manage to stay out of trouble?
Very lucky I stay out with the crashes, and I didn't have a very clean start, and then it was struggle a lot the start of the race. But anyway, I'm very lucky this weekend and first weekend in Thailand, PCCA, so everything is went well. The car is good, thank you my team, and it was great battle.
You say very lucky, but there must have been an awful lot of skill that you employed there. A, to stay out of trouble, and B, stay competitive.
Yes, I think we had a very close fight with the Pro AM class driver. They did very good job. Yeah, it was very good race and lucky.
Very enjoyable to see you. Well done.
Thank you.
A great victory as well after being denied in the previous race as just late on was overtaken and lost the race lead to Bao Jinlong. Excellent performance there from Li Judsong in this race, but of course even finishing ahead of the Pro-Am category. Munkung Satintirikul we're catching up with in just a moment after an incredible performance, finishing in 8th position overall. If he was a Pro-Am driver, would have won the Pro-Am category. Miles clear of the second driver in AM. We'll head down to Munkung Satintirikul to see what he's saying post-race.
Munkung Satintirikul, you've gone through the full gamut of emotions today. 2 wins out of 2 in Thailand. Congratulations. How does it feel?
Thank you very much. It feels unbelievable. winning 2 races like continuously. Yeah. It's quite something amazing to say but I have a from the start I have an okay start, then the front group just go, the back of the behind just go, so I just dive alone quite comfortably.
We were saying in another interview just then, it was chaotic in the middle of the field. There was lots of contact. It was difficult to stay out of trouble. Did you get close to any trouble, any contact?
No, from the beginning I just alone. Yeah. I was so alone on the podium. Yeah, so quite lucky. Yeah.
You must feel very proud. This is the first weekend in Thailand. We've got another one coming up. You've done the double. How are you feeling about Bang Sien?
I have it's street racing, street circuit, so it's a little bit different, It's a bit different from here. No track limit, because if you have track limit, you're just done with the car. So I think it will be okay. I'll say it will be okay.
Okay, we look forward to seeing you drive okay in a few weeks' time. Well done, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ.
Such a good vibe from Munkung Satintirikul, who's just, again, an excellent performer and did brilliantly in that race. Once again, finishing way clear as well for victory in the AM category. It was 10 seconds in the previous race. It was about 10 seconds in this one as well. And that was even after a safety car restart. So shows how strong he was. Of course, there was a lot of drama behind him as well. We'll take a look, though, at race highlights from the race and see exactly what happened. There's a lot of stuff. Of course, into race highlights then, round 6 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. It was Alessandro Guiretti starting for pole position alongside Dylan Pereira, and a great start from Pereira, not quite enough to go on to the races. Guiretti was able to fend them off. Rodrigo Diaz Almeida making a good start, trying to get around the outside as there was bits of drama going down into turn 1. A good move from Alessandro Guiretti straight around the outside of Dylan Pereira, really having to fight hard between the pair of them after a little bit of contact, but earlier on a lap at turn 3. Pereira was able to take over the race lead, but would rescind it after potentially squeezing Alessandro Guiretti off the road. A couple of looks further down, and unfortunately this spin for the AAA car of Zhang Yatsi into the barrier, which would cause the safety car an instant retirement from the race for the AAA car, one of 2 cars to retire from the race. This is when Dylan Pereira gifted the lead back to Alessandro Gueretti. Not 100% sure as to why, but maybe feeling that the move wasn't particularly fair. Watch this though, as we saw Bao Jinlong making a move to the inside. Zach Stitchbury in the background, diving in a little bit too hard, making contact with the rear end of Bao Jinlong, who was able to continue on in the race, finished 4th in category, even after coming to a stop, almost stalling it, and after a poor start to the race. Shows how good he is in the Pro-Am category. Out through the final corner though, it was Alessandro Gueretti taking another victory. Dylan Pereira and Matthias Jalbert finishing out on the podium. Dylan Pereira challenging Alessandro Gueretti all the way up to the checkered flag. Mukul Satintirikul taking victory, with Lisa Chong of course taking victory in the Pro-Am category. Mukul Satintirikul of course in the Am category. An excellent race, an excellent weekend of racing in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. We'll head down though to the podium to see how drivers take to the steps.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium presentation for round 6 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2024 in Buriram. Let's get it ready to invite the winners of round 6 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2024 for the overall class. On 3rd place, let's congratulate driver number 99, Mathis Jalbert from Toro Racing. On 2nd place, we have driver number 5, Dylan Pereira from Team Shanghai Yongnan BWT. And on 1st place, we have driver number 55, Alessandro Gueretti from Team Jepson. Once again, congratulate to the Dealer Trophy winner, to Team Jepson. And now I would like to invite Mr. Alexandre Imperatori, the manager of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, to present both the winner trophy and the dealer trophy. And now I would like to invite Mr. Peter Rawa, the Managing Director of Porsche Thailand, to present the 2nd place trophy. And now I would like to invite Mr. Charles Chang, Michelin China Championship Manager, to present the 3rd place trophy. Now let's invite all of the award presenters to join our winners for the overall class for a group photo. All right, everyone, let's have big smiles. Pose for the cameras right in front of you in 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much to all of our award presenters. In this scorching sun, let's get ready for some champagne shower!
Certainly not the way they'd expected to cool it down with some champagne. I've got to say, Dylan Pereira doesn't look particularly disappointed after what has been an excellent race. What a fantastic performance though from Alessandro Gueretti once again this weekend. Truly
congratulations to
a dominant
our overall
course.
winners!
Again, brilliant performance from Alessandro Gueretti, but it's a tall order to beat the man. Dylan Pereira certainly has the accolades, has the plaudits to be able to beat Alessandro Gueretti, who is missing the next round of the championship, so expect things to close up in various ones of our categories. But obviously, Alessandro Gueretti off racing in the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, so be a tough order. We'll head over to the Pro-Am podium and see them take to the steps.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to invite the winners of round 6 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2024 for the Pro-Am class. On 3rd place, we have driver number 9, Li Chao from Team Better Life. On 2nd place, we have driver number 321, Li Xuanyu from Z-Speed Motorsport. And the winner goes to driver number 21, Li Zhitong from Trans China Automotive Racing. Now I'm glad to invite Mr. Alexandre Imperatori, the manager of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, to present the winner trophy. And now we are glad to invite Mr. Peter Rauer, the Managing Director of Porsche Thailand, to present the second place trophy. And now let's invite Mr. Charles Chang, Michelin China Championship Manager, to present the third place trophy. And now we'd like to invite all of the award presenters to now come forward for a group photo with the winners of the Pro-Am class. All right, everybody, big smiles, thumbs up, and pose. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone. And now let's get ready for some celebration.
Some good vibes on that podium. They were looking very happy indeed. Excellent performance then from Li Chong. Of course, Li Xuanyu taking to second, and Li Chao, of course, into third position in the Pro-Am category. Excellent.
Once again,
excellent
congratulations
racing in the Pro-Am.
to the winners for the Pro-Am class.
I've got to say, of the three categories, I think this weekend, Pro-Am has delivered the most exciting racing throughout. But they had an excellent race yesterday, earlier on today, rather, and an excellent race just here as well. Munkong Satintirikul, though, will take to the podium for third position with Cao Tsi Kwan, of course, and Eric Kwan, of course, in the AM category. Here they go to the podium.
Now let's get ready to invite the winners of round 6 of Porsche Carrera 2024 for the M class. Third place, congratulations to driver number 23, Eric Kwong from Bergwork Motorsport. Second place, driver number 117, Cao Chi Kwan from Phantom Global Racing. And also first place goes to driver number 76, Munkong Satyatiraku from EBM Giga Racing. Now let's invite Mr. Alexandre Imperatori, the manager of Porsche Carrera Cappadocia, again to present the winner trophy. Next, I'm glad to invite Mr. Peter Rauer, the managing director of Porsche Thailand, to present the second place trophy. And I'm glad to invite Mr. Charles Chang, Michelin China Championship Manager, to present the third place trophy. Now I would like to invite all of the award presenters to take a group photo together. All right, everybody, big smiles on 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much, everybody, and let's get ready for the final celebration.
The final bit of champagne to be sprayed around on that podium this weekend then. Of course, both races happening here on Saturday.
Winners, and we will see you in the press conference.
Truly,
Thank you, everybody,
truly
for the
perfect weekend there for Munkong Satyatiraku, who's just delivered an absolutely excellent performance. Of course, we'll be back very, very soon on the 5th and 7th of July. We'll see you then.